Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this special day at Wabash College. My name is Greg Redding, and I'm a Wabash alumnus from the class of 1988. I've had the privilege of serving here as a German professor since 2002 and as Dean of Students since 2019. To the family and friends here in the audience or watching over in Baxter on our live stream, thank you so much for participating in this historic rite of passage for Wabash students and for your part in helping these young men reach this important milestone in their lives. And to the men of the class of 2026, this ringing in ceremony is a tradition that ties you directly to the first 12 students to enroll at Wabash 189 years ago. As you will soon learn, if you don't already know, we love our traditions here at Wabash. Some are just for fun, like the prohibitions against walking under the arch or stepping on the college seal at the library. Others, such as our traditions of academic rigor, close mentoring relationships, and the gentleman's rule, contribute more directly to our excellence as an institution. But despite our reverence for tradition, Wabash is not a college that lives in the past. We are always looking forward. We foster a culture of continual improvement in which we work each day to be better as an institution and as individuals. Indeed, this constant striving toward better versions of ourselves might be our most important tradition, for it is ultimately the whole point of our academic rigor, our close mentoring relationships, and the high expectations of the gentleman's rule. So honor the past while you are here at Wabash, but always also look toward the future. Use the countless opportunities that you will have here, both in and out of the classroom, to become not just the best student you can be, but also the best person. Another great tradition at Wabash is devotion to our beloved fight song. If you already know the words, I invite you to join in with the Wabash College Glee Club under the direction of Professor Saren Williams as they provide a rousing rendition of Old Wabash. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and sing along.
When the day is done and the western sun is painted in flash and glory, across the skies we go.
Thank you very much, Glee Club. To our new students, each of you should soon learn the words to Old Wabash, which we believe to be the longest college fight song in the country. We sing it frequently and enthusiastically, and coming up in about a month is the annual chapel sing competition where you will have the chance to demonstrate your mastery of the song. Members of the Sphinx Club actually will get you started with it tonight following our convocation in the Fine Arts Center. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce our Dean for Enrollment Management, Mr. Chip Timmons. An alumnus from the Wabash class of 1996, Chip is here representing all of those affiliated with the effort to recruit each of you to our college. In order that he may welcome you and describe you a bit to one another, please welcome Mr. Chip Timmons.
All right, gentlemen, let's take a brief journey back in time. Go back to the end of your junior year of high school, back to when colleges flooded your inboxes and mailboxes with emails and letters that you didn't read. But maybe your parents, they probably read them to you. For most of you, it's around that time that you were introduced to Wabash and you began to introduce yourself to Wabash. I want you to think about all of the alumni, faculty, current students, coaches, staff, and your fellow new students you've met over that span of time. Those connections should make you feel like you're not just enrolling at a college today, more like you're joining a family. Now, this afternoon, I'm going to attempt to summarize the strengths, talents, and successes of this remarkable group of new students, 267 students from 22 states and 11 countries who join our Wabash family today. You had an average GPA of a 3.86. 73 of you are the first members of your family to attend college. 54 of you are legacies, meaning a family member is already a Wabash man. One of you is the sixth member of his family to attend Wabash today, and by scanning the audience, I think the other 5 are sitting right over there. Another is the 5th person in his family to attend Wabash, and your Wabash family tree extends to your great-great-great-grandfather who founded one of our fraternities. Now, if you graduated from Bishop Chatard, Brownsburg, Crawfordsville, Plainfield, or Roncalli high schools, you're here with at least 5 of your fellow Trojans, Bulldogs, Athenians, Quakers, and Royals. And if you're at all interested in mascots like this Frankfurt hot dog and Wabash College Little Giant is, we also have 2 golden arrows, 2 griffins, 2 woodmen, plus an Alice, a chieftain, a spark plug, a state liner, and another hot dog. And at our next family gathering, if someone calls for Evan, 7 of you should answer. And that goes for you, Justin, all 6 of you. And if you're going to write or text to one of the 5 Bradens, make sure you check the spelling. B-R-A-D-E-N, B-R-A-E-D-E-N, B-R-A-I-D-E-N, and B-R-A-Y-D-E-N. And as families do, we celebrate birthdays. 4 of you were born on April 23rd. 3 of you share birthdays on August 2nd, August 5th, and November 15th. And where is Josh Fan and Sam Vogel? They had birthdays yesterday. And then we don't want to forget about our friends Nick Campos and Xavier Tyler. Where are you? Your birthdays are tomorrow. Happy birthday, guys. So let's stick with this theme of celebration and celebrate some of the accomplishments of the members of this new class. 10 of you are Eagle Scouts. 5 of you were valedictorians. 1 of you has climbed 5 mountains and cycled across Indiana. 5 of you run your own lawn care businesses. 1 of you developed a prototype control circuit for a microscope used for cancer research. And another built a supersonic ping pong ball cannon. I don't want to know what that was used for. Maybe you do. 1 of you is a cancer survivor. One of you is the vice president of a group called Cancer Care, and you deliver food and supplies to families with children battling cancer. One of you founded an organization that raises money to provide Christmas gifts for senior citizens. Some other new members of our family include a 1920s ballroom music aficionado, a sports talk show host, a state powerlifting champ, a custom clothing designer, and the host of a weekly jazz podcast. Our family also boasts an employee of Indiana Fear Farm, someone who is restoring a 1964 AMC Rambler. One of you has unofficially completed the Blazing Wings Challenge twice. One of you, quote, consumes tortilla chips faster than a lawnmower cuts grass. One of you got lost at Disney World at the age of 4, and one whose stated goal is to have a sandwich named after him. Now, I won't reveal your identity, but since part of your last name is Burger, I like your chances. But keep an eye on your classmate whose last name is Grill. So there it is. There's my best attempt to share the accomplishments of this newest class of Wabash men. And I know I speak for my colleagues in the enrollment office when I say we enjoyed working with you. So you're going to stop getting emails and texts from us reminding you to work on your roadmap, but that doesn't mean we won't stay connected with you. And now I need to speak to the parents, because it may be time for some connections to end. And what I'm about to say may be upsetting, but our family connection at Wabash is so strong and supportive that you might be able to disconnect from Life 360 or Find My Phone or whatever you do to track your kids' movements. I know, that's crazy. I think I heard someone over here say, not on my plan, but hey, hear me out. I've worked in higher education for over 25 years, and I'm also the parent of a young man in the class of 2026. I thought for sure that wasn't going to happen. Why is it so dusty in here? But through my work and my son's college search, I know very well what other colleges and universities offer and don't offer. And Wabash is an outlier in higher education as it is perceived today. We are a fully residential liberal arts education with high scholarly and behavioral standards for all of its students. Gentlemen, this is not the last 4 years of your childhood or a period of prolonged adolescence. Instead, it's your first step into adulthood. Wabash will provide you, our sons, the opportunities to succeed and fail, become the best scholars, leaders, athletes, friends, and men you can be, all the while surrounded by a community that will encourage, love, and unconditionally support you, just as a family should. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chip. It has been my privilege over the years to know many Wabash alumni from all eras and all walks of life. Through their commitment to service, their professional accomplishments, and their devotion to alma mater, I have seen how they live the values of the college mission and the gentleman's rule even decades after their student years. We have the most passionate, most dedicated, and most engaged alumni that you can imagine. It's no surprise that our alumni network is always ranked among the very best in the country. No one knows that better than those who serve on the board of directors for our alumni body, the National Association of Wabash Men, or the NAWM. Here to speak on behalf of our alumni and welcome the class of 2026 into the Brotherhood is Mr. Kip Chase, Wabash class of 2003 and current president of the NAWM.
I have to first start by acknowledging the Glee Club here, one of our time-honored traditions. There's not a better group on campus. For those of you looking to get involved, they have an international trip going up this year. I think it's in the Baltic region. So Any of those that sign up, all get to go. Just give you something to think about. But gentlemen, what a day this is for you. Welcome to Wabash College. My name's Kip Chase, and I have the honor of standing before you today as the president of the National Association of Wabash Men, which, according to the Princeton Review, has consistently been, over the past 5 years, either the #1 or #2 ranked alumni network in the United States. As I look out at each of you and your loved ones, I'm taken back on my journey here to my own freshman Saturday and ringing in ceremony 23 years ago. If I'm like you, you're filled with excitement, hope for what's ahead. You're probably a little bit nervous about living on your own for the first time and saying goodbye to your parents and to your friends. You may be thinking to yourself, if I can just make it through today, all will be okay. Well, I promise you, you're going to be more than okay. You're getting a great start in life. You're going to Wabash College. A year ago, I stood before the class of 2025 and shared a story of my own freshman Saturday, one that literally involved running into Andy Ford, the president of Wabash at that time, as my family and I stepped out of our car. President Ford was an excellent president for Wabash College, a close mentor, and someone that I hold in the highest of regards. When he passed away earlier this year, I was fortunate enough to reflect on the many messages he gave us students and the lessons that I took from him. It's one of these that I'd like to share with you. Speaking at my graduation ceremony in the spring of 2003, President Ford stood before us and profoundly shared the following: "This college has trained you for nothing, but it's prepared you for everything." I think this is a message that you should hear and reflect on as you begin your Wabash experience. The world needs good men, period. Good men who will become leaders in their local communities. Good men who will be the backbones of their family. Good men who will have a broad set of careers rooted in tackling big problems. Good men who are agile and can adapt to economic challenges, wars, pandemics, societal issues that we have not yet seen but are assured are to come. Wabash College is a place that will help you prepare to become a good man. It will do so by pushing your limits, challenging you academically, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. My advice to you is to embrace this point, that the college will raise the bar of expectations for you, and therefore you should do that of yourself and each other. One of the things you've already heard about Wabash in this experience is that it won't be easy, but it'll be worth it. We should not want this any other way if we are to desire to walk away from this campus 4 years from now, indeed to be prepared for everything. But this place will not ask you to do it alone. It will support you in ways that will change your life. Special friendships will develop, the ones that last forever, the ones that involve those who will challenge you in the classroom, compete with you on the playing field, and celebrate you while you deliver a speech or perform in a play. These will be the friends that will stand with you at your wedding and celebrate life's great joys with you and share in your sorrows. Unique bonds with professors will take hold. They will start in the classroom and be forged by deep discussions about scientific exploration, global economics, poetry, and the humanities. These relationships will be sharpened by respectful discourse and trial and error. Enjoy the challenge and the beauty in all of this. And remember the African proverb that smooth seas do not make for skilled sailors. Wabash College knows well how to prepare its students for what lies ahead, and this good place calls out to you. So just know along your journey, the Wabash Alumni Network will help you. More than 14,000 alumni of this college await your call, your email, your Facebook or LinkedIn request. Like your family, teachers, coaches, and friends, we too offer what we can for those of you that are willing to extend an invitation to perhaps become your mentor, your teacher, and even your lifelong friend. Welcome to Wabash College, gentlemen, and to your family. We welcome you with open arms to our family. Thank you all so very much.
Many thanks to you, Kip, and to all the members of the NAWM for the essential work that you do to support Wabash students. And now it is my honor to introduce to you the 17th president of Wabash College, Dr. Scott Feller. President Feller is entering his third full year of service as president of Wabash, but he has been a leader at the college for over 20 years, first as a professor of chemistry, then later as dean of the college. You could not be in more capable hands as you begin your time at Wabash. Please welcome our 17th president, Dr. Scott Feller.
Good afternoon, men of the class of 2026. It's a joy and an honor to welcome you to our campus and this tradition-rich ringing-in ceremony today. All of you today officially become Wabash men, though I suspect most of you have proudly used that title for months, and I've seen more than a few yard signs indicating that. It's also a special day for me. Today's the first time I've gotten to ring in the class in this hallowed space. 2 years ago, we were out on the mall, and last year, students were seated in the Little Giant Stadium. But we're in this traditional space for this ceremony, and in spite of the lack of air conditioning, it's good to be here together. And I'm, of course, pleased that your parents have been able to join us on this special day, either in person or on the live stream. I am deeply honored to welcome all of the parents, siblings, and grandparents into our larger Wabash family. As the previous speakers have mentioned, we're a tight-knit community, bonded by our wonderful college and its giant impact on our world. I'd like to take a brief moment to speak to the moms and dads in the room today and on the live stream as well. I know from experience the huge range of emotions that you're feeling at this moment. I had the same knot in my stomach when Wendy and I dropped our own children off at college just a few years ago. I know some of the things at least that are going through your mind. Is he ready? Have we done enough to prepare him for this next chapter in his life? Will he make friends? Will he find success? I suspect that it feels like just yesterday you were driving him to Pee Wee soccer practice and cutting up orange wedges to hand out to his friends. And now we're here. He's starting college. And I'm guessing the last few years have flown by at warp speed for all of you. Sadly, or maybe joyfully, Wendy and I can attest from our own experiences with Amanda and Jake, that pace doesn't slow down. It only gets faster. If you want one bit of evidence, my 5-year-old grandson is here today for the ringing in ceremony. Hi, Gus. So as hard as it will be, my advice to you is to let your son go. Sure, ping him once in a while to check in, but let him explore this exciting place. Let him stride out on his own and try new things. Even let him stumble if he must, knowing that his Wabash brothers, his faculty, his coaches, his staff, and our alumni will be there to lend him a hand when needed. This is the place that will allow your son to become the man you've always imagined him to be. I urge you to do your part, to give him the freedom to do that. Gentlemen, on this, your first real day as Wabash men, I want you to think about your parents and all the sacrifices they've made to get you to this point in their lives, in your lives. The piano lessons, the math homework help, travel ball, hundreds of events. They showed up. They showered you with love, encouragement, passion. Importantly, they instilled in you the confidence and drive to become a Wabash man, to make the bold choice to select a college that will push you harder than most, and one that calls you to be a gentleman and a responsible citizen. So please join me in saluting your families and thanking them with a round of applause. This is my 25th year at the college. I have welcomed many new students to Wabash. I have known many alumni in that time. And I can say with confidence that it's not an exaggeration to say that today is one of the most important days in your life. You begin college at an unusual moment in time, to say the least. Our world is filled with questions. Is COVID in the rearview mirror or not? Will we have peace in Eastern Europe? Where is our economy headed? Can we take steps to mitigate changes in our climate? Can we bridge our many political divides? These are hugely important questions, the kinds of issues you'll wrestle with as Wabash students in classes and labs, but also in living units and locker rooms. You'll learn to do research, listen to others, form opinions, change your mind, and become your own person, capable of learning, listening, and then leading. So another question, gentlemen. How will you ensure that 4 years from now, you're not looking back with regret at opportunities lost because you didn't step up to embrace them? If you're going to listen to one piece of the speech, this is the part to listen to most carefully. How you define your Wabash experience over the next 4 years is entirely up to you. This is your responsibility. I know this to be true because I've witnessed it for 25 years. Young men arriving on campus and setting a course for themselves that leads to remarkable achievement, to things they never thought possible. Take advantage of that incredible opportunity over these next 4 years. For the young men in the audience, this is certainly a time in your life when everybody wants to give you advice. Your high school graduation speaker surely advised you to seize the day. Maybe it was your principal or your church pastor who said upon graduation, go out and change the world. I'm sure you had plenty of conversations at your graduation party, maybe with Uncle Joe, maybe with Aunt Charlotte, who advised you to manage time well in college. Your mom's probably been telling you for weeks to make sure you get enough sleep. Of course, adding to this chorus of advisors are the men sitting up here with me today, Dean Redding, Dean Timmons, President Chase. All provided great advice for you about your time at Wabash. So I'm going to give just a little. As some of you might know, Wendy and I live on a small farm just outside of town. I tend to get up early to do the chores, and I catch up on my reading. Back in June, the New York Times columnist David Brooks wrote a column he titled, "The Greatest Life Hacks in the World." And if any of you know David Brooks, he's a pretty serious writer. He writes on big, sprawling cultural and political topics. But in June, he collected from a variety of sources what he called, quote, priceless life hacks to help you float effortlessly through the miasma of modern existence. I want to share a couple. These are the things that I think might serve you well in your time at Wabash. First, Brooks says you should build identity capital. Commit to doing 3 fascinating things that job interviewers and dinner companions will want to ask you about for the rest of your life. That's great advice. In case you're worried that, maybe the experiences that you've had are not going to make great dinner conversation or get you that great job, one of the other things he advises is the thing that made you weird as a kid, could you make you great as an adult? The next couple, I think, can help you, especially as you navigate the world of college and beyond. He advises, anything you say before the word but does not count. And there's a corollary to that one. It's not an apology if it comes with an excuse. I suspect everyone can use that some point in their first semester. One of his pieces of advice I think will resonate as you begin to discuss the gentleman's rule this evening and over the next few days of orientation. He writes, if you're doing something you don't want others to find out about, it's probably wrong. Here's the one that I think I try to use every time I get a chance. He writes, make the day, don't let the day make you. Make sure you are setting your schedule, not just responding to invitations from others. He shares, don't spend too much time trying to figure out what your life is about. It's too big of a question. Just figure out what the next couple of years are about. I know that's the kind of thinking that our Career Center can help you prepare for life after Wabash. I'll close with just 2 more that might be particularly helpful. When you have 90% of a large project completed, finishing up the final details will take the other 90%. And here's one that I know every Wabash student will use this semester. When you're beginning to write a paper, give yourself permission to write badly. You can't fix it until it's down on paper or in your word processor. So there you have it. These are the life hacks as gathered by a New York Times columnist. It's up to you to define your time here. But as your president, I also want to use this moment to give you a few more pieces of advice. Make that Wabash journey enriching, engaging, and intellectually challenging in life-changing ways. Use your time at Wabash to focus on building lifelong relationships with roommates, classmates, fraternity brothers, and teammates. Take seriously the offer of open office hours by your professors. You will discover that our faculty are both genuinely accessible and that they care deeply about both your intellectual and your emotional growth over the next 4 years and long after that. Join clubs, get involved in theater or politics, sing in the Glee Club, intern in a professor's lab, compete, engage with the nation's top alumni network. Fill your life with challenge, opportunity, and especially with joy. Your Wabash Orientation starts today. Over the course of this week, you'll learn that a culture of personal responsibility is at the very center of your educational experience. Yes, we want you to learn to think critically, to act responsibly, lead effectively, and live humanely. But we want you to do those things with intent. You to live up to the highest ideals represented in our gentleman's rule and our liberal arts tradition. That's why physics majors will study the great works of literature. That's why art majors need to develop problem-solving skills learned in laboratories. That's why all of you will come to understand languages and cultures far different from your own. And that's why in the spring, we'll ask all of you to look into the mirror and ask yourselves important questions like, who am I? Why am I here? How can I serve others? Your Wabash education will guide you no matter what vocation you are called to serve. And I promise that if you're all in for Wabash, you will develop the capacities of resilience, care, and collaboration that will prepare you to be the leaders our world so desperately needs. Gentlemen, if you're prepared to take up this challenge, to determine the man you want to be, to take on the responsibility of your own life and the lives of others, to set as your goal to live a wise and virtuous life embodied in the gentleman's rule, to live up to the high ideas articulated in the mission of our college, to think critically, act responsibly, lead effectively, and live humanely. If so, please stand. Gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure to continue the tradition begun by the first professor of this college, Caleb Mills, and using his bell, ring you into the good company of Wabash men. Men of the class of 2026, welcome to our brotherhood.
Thank you. Thank you, President Feller, and congratulations, Wabash men. Before closing, I have a couple of housekeeping notes. Students and parents both, as you adjourn on to the mall, look for your orientation mentor who will be holding aloft your group number. That mentor will direct you to your next location to meet with your faculty advisor and/or your tutorial instructor. We're not done yet. After that session, you'll have time for hugs and goodbyes. Then parents, you'll have an optional opportunity to gather at 5 p.m. in the Little Giant Stadium concourse for a reception with President and Mrs. Feller and members of the Parents Advisory Committee. This is a casual come-as-you-are event. Good chance you just exhale and meet some fellow parents at the end of our day. I want to thank the small army of people who've made today possible. The admissions office, the staffs of Bon Appetit and Campus Services, and the whole student life team, but especially Dean Heather Thrush and her student orientation mentors, as well as student life specialist Mike Lynn, Dean Welch, and all the student housing leaders. And finally, thank you again, parents and guardians, for making it possible for these young men to continue their education at this special place. To you, we say welcome to the Wabash family. To the men of the class of 2026, welcome to the brotherhood. And now our Glee Club will close our program with a performance of Alma Mater. Please rise. Thank you, everyone. We are adjourned.